The Busy Bees. Chapter 1. Bees beehiving madly. Not long ago, in a nearby place, was a hive on the edge of a wood, and the bees of the hive were all buzzing inside, making honey as fast as they could. From the dawn of the day to the last beams of light, they took pollen from all of the blooms that surrounded the hive at the edge of the wood and surrounded the sand of the dunes. And you'd think that the bees were all happy at work, but a problem was dragging them down, because the harder they worked, the harder it was, and the harder they started to frown. But it wasn't the pollen that caused all the fuss, the flower dust stored at their knees. It was the changing enough of the dust quick enough into honey that was hard for the bees, because making the honey is a delicate thing, and the pollen will spoil over time. So the queen of the bees asked her subjects to see if anything new sprang to mind. Chapter 2. Thinking different, being different. So some of the bees got together one day and decided to give it some thought. If a way can be found, we'll find it, they said, but they argued and bickered and fought. Before suddenly one little bee had a plan, so he buzzed up aloud from the rest. We can make a large drawing of all that it takes to make honey, and then we can test. Small solutions, just one at a time, he remarked, to the blocks in the system we found. The other bees thought it an excellent plan, so they started to dance all around. Because bees that make honey don't speak like us humans, they jitterbug, tango and jive. They danced all the night as they mapped all the blocks that had always been there in the hive. And before that they knew it, they'd even agreed a named statement they were happy to send. To make the same honey just as good as before, but less time we're just wanting to spend. And when they were done, they welcomed the sun as it worked its way back through the trees. And they flew from the hive and they gathered the dust that they stored in their bags at their knees. Chapter 3. Try it out and be. The dance of the bees that had happened that night had developed some novel new ways to approach the conversion of dust into honey, and so for the following days the bees made a plan to meet as a team and to process the pollen as one, because bees as a team are collectively fast and collectively clever and strong. One half of the bees split in half once again so the time could be doubled to dance, and the other half added some time at the end, which was also a way to enhance the planning of how to convert all the dust into honey in double quick speed. And the two groups of bees measured how long it took, and they knew they were bound to succeed. They cried, if it works, we'll keep it, they said, and if it don't work, then we won't. We'll only accept an idea that works, and we'll chuck the ideas that don't. Chapter 4. Would you believe it? And so our dear bees developed a way to proceed and make positive change, because bees that make honey should be helped a wee bit and not struggle like ants in the rain. And with the ideas of change and the statement and methods of try it and see, the bees have now started to try different things, a breath of fresh air for a bee. For instance, they now have occasional days where the whole hive can work as a team to finish the honey that's almost complete, and this little trick works a dream. And another idea they've recently tried is to open their hive to more bees. Bees from the other hives next to the dunes and next to the blooms by the trees. And for those in the know, this positive tale hasn't only been tried by the bees. There's some humans who work in a thing they call cams that have also tried methods like these.